Change has come. It's at the door. Everything that was true isn't true anymore. In our hands is a broken crown, and the wars that we lose mean freedom now. Every ending is a chance, a chance, a chance. Every ending is a chance, a chance, a chance. Every ending is a chance to begin again. Every ending is a chance to begin again. Let's dance into battle, start a revolution, turn the heartbreak into evolution. Like a phoenix rising from the ashes, from the ashes. Every ending is a chance, a chance, a chance. Every ending is a chance, a chance, a chance. Every ending is a chance to begin again. Every ending is a chance to begin again. Keep marching on. 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 Every ending is a chance, a chance, a chance. Every ending is a chance, a chance, a chance. Every ending is a chance to begin again. Every ending is a chance to begin again. Every ending is a chance. Every ending is a chance to begin again.
The plan for living life, playing the game of life. Rules to the game of life. You will receive a body. You will learn lessons. There are no mistakes, only lessons. A lesson will be repeated until it is learned. Learning lessons does not end. There is no better than here. Others are merely mirrors of you. What you make of your life is up to you. Life is exactly what you think it is. Your answers lie inside you. You will forget all of this. You can remember it whenever you want. Mastering ourselves, being our best selves. My power, my control. Mind, body, soul, which is thoughts, wills, the things you say, and emotions. Principles: learn, grow, teach, help. Foundation: love, health, wealth, happiness. Rules: respectful, safe, responsible. Being a champion, one day at a time. Having accountability, accept responsibility for actions and performance. Culture, living our values, mastering ourselves, body, mind, soul. Excellence, being our best selves by efficiency and productivity. Leveling up in life, showing up for yourself, focus on yourself, core values, decisions, goals, and behavior. Live by, no excuses, take ownership, empower yourself to do better and be more for you. Many are here to help us be the best version of ourselves through learning and development. 2, I'm willing to do the work and you are willing to do the work. The first step to empowering you is creating a structure that helps you eliminate excuses through clarity of responsibility and process. Being a champion to create winning is by having a desire to be the best version of yourself and empowering you to do so daily. Having a better world that is a champion world is that it takes all of us. Everything is energy, vibration, and frequency, which is inside of us all and all around us. What is your energy? Low vibration or high vibration? Low vibration. Empathy, victim, helplessness, blame, negative self-talk, worry, hatred, anger, fear. High vibration. Hopefulness, courage, acceptance, happiness, self-love, gratitude, positive self-talk, trust, knowledge, abundance, forgiveness, unconditional love. Mastering ourselves. Lust, intense desire or craving, greed, excessive selfish desire. Gluttony, excessive consumption. Pride, excessive self-importance. Sloth, laziness, empathy. Envy, desiring what someone else has. Wrath, extreme anger. The unseen laws, spiritual laws you must respect. Core unseen laws. Law of reciprocity, which what you send out, energy, thoughts, actions, returns amplified. Law of authority. Spirits only respect those who know who they are. If you're confused, they dominate. Law of resonance. You attract what matches your vibration. Purity equals clear outcomes. Law of timing. Some doors open only in divine timing. Forcing it equals punishment or delay. Law of spiritual debt. Every lie, scam, or shortcut leaves a karmic invoice until it's paid by pain or repentance. It blocks flow. Law of access. Sharing sacred things with unworthy people gives dark forces access to you. Guard your spiritual intimacy. Law of sacred exchange. Don't ask for something from spirit world without giving something. Prayers, food, fire, service, truth. Law of hidden eyes. Even when no one is watching, you are seen. All thoughts and deeds echo in the spirit realms. Everyone will get exactly what they choose. 3D earth. Fear, division, anger, control, hate, AI. 5D earth. Love, unity, peace, freedom, healing, consciousness. This is the great awakening. Some bridges are beautiful when they burn. There's a calmness that takes over when you can't go back, when you've changed, when you've decided, when you've left behind a version of you that is no longer you. The end of everything is the start of anything. Welcome, I'm Alisha Quinn, and today we are going to be talking about cutting cords, soul contracts, and really like letting go of soul ties and bonds, because that's just the time that we are truly in. And, I have come here for this time. I chose my journey, and, I am ascending to my highest level, my highest timeline. It is a choice to master the flesh, and nobody's going to do it for me. And so I've chosen this journey. I chose to go on a different path, a different way than your normal traditional ways. And I have jumped timelines. And so when I go down this awakening journey and start, getting the information that, I chose my journey, right? I chose it. I chose my parents. I chose the learning lessons, all these things that would happen. I chose it, right? And then, as I go down that road and stuff, and I got involved with Ronald and I agreed that we were in a soul contract. And so as I go through that, and, I'm in this little thing with him and really reviewing my life and things that, and then, coming to this point with him for February 23rd of 24, when there was a lot of stuff that was happening. And, I got this message that soul contracts were up, right? Him and I agreed that we were in a soul contract. Then I get this message, soul contracts are up. And that's when I was like, you want to end this or whatever. And he said no, and let's keep going, kind of thing. And the thing is that what I have come to learn is that we do have these soul cords and these soul contracts, that we have unfinished business even with people in our lives, our families, even, that there's karma, there's unhealed, stuff even from past lives. And so, but we also end up in these contracts to learn certain lessons. And so it's very interesting when you open your mind up to reincarnation, that, the stuff that you're holding on to from a past life comes into your new life and these kinds of things. So, we end up in these, soul contracts and soul ties and soul bonds with others. And as we awaken and heal and rise up, because that's part of dealing with the karma and things as well, is that we have to heal from it. We have to, look at it, and even like with Ronald, and see, okay, Ronald was teaching me about my insecurity issues, my people pleasing issues, self abandonment, right? And I had to learn those lessons, and it was a hard freaking lesson for me to learn, but I did learn it, and I've healed from it, and he needed a lesson about a few things himself. He can choose to learn the lesson, or, continue playing the victim game. And so, he can hold on to whatever he's going to hold on to. But, I went through a whole lot to go through the soul contracts that I had, and he was that last soul contract, because as I went through with him, I was working on my inner work. I was working on healing from my former husband, Robert, which I will tell you, Robert was a karmic partner for me. You know, we don't get away with stuff. And so that includes me, that we don't get away with stuff. And so, and when we're holding on to stuff, even those abandonment issues and these kinds of things, because, you know, if you're, you know, you go through crap when you're a kid and you're holding on to them. And the thing is that when you don't heal and you don't let them go, you go right back into some bullshit. And that's just how it is. You have to transmute that energy. You have to transcend it. And that's what Christ did, you know, Yeshua did. So, you know, that's all we got to do is transcend that energy, learn those lessons, and truly forgive, you know, like, you know, Robert, he was only a product of his environment and the stuff that he went through. He had huge trauma issues and abandonment things, and he lived out that same story his whole life. He never learned the lessons. He never truly evolved to go to the next level of things. He stuck in religion still, all of it. Stuck in the world, looking outside of himself instead of looking inside himself. And pretty much that's where Ronald's at too. And so, you know, the thing is that when we come to inner reflect, do ourself, you know, our inner work and heal from it and truly forgive them. You know, I learned a lot from Robert. And, you know, I got some very valuable things on a soul level from Robert. And so, Robert, he taught me a lot. And, you know, I had to learn that lesson the hard way to get the hell out of the church system, you know, and he showed me about, you know, taking care of my health because nobody's going to do it for me. The doctors aren't going to take care of your health for you. And that's just a fact. And, you know, the church isn't going to take care of your health for you. And the thing is that we have only the responsibility of our mind, our soul, and our bodies to take care of. And we give it away. We give it all away. We give our soul to the church, you know, living in fear, being in this bondage of fear with the church. We give our power of our body over to doctors telling us, and the government telling us how, you know, how is it's very interesting to me that, you know, that the government will tell you to eat a certain way, right? But the thing is that they can't combat the issues going on with people's health, the obesity issue, the, you know, all these issues that go on because when you come down to it, it is a personal responsibility. Some people can't eat certain foods. You gotta know, like, hey, my body can't handle this food, you know? Sugar, you know, why are you eating sugar and you're diabetic, you know, and these kinds of things. So you, you know, we give it away. We give it away. And then, you know, there's the part of the desire, right? The desire for certain foods instead of taking the power over your subconscious mind and reprogramming yourself to be your healthiest self. So, you know, and our minds we give away to, you know, religion and government and TV and fantasies and whatever. So we have the power to take those things back. And that was a little side note here, but the thing is that as we move forward and we start evolving and ascending, healing, you gotta heal to ascend. You gotta heal to get the next level because you can't hold on to all the baggage BS and go forward. You have to let it go. You have to come to that point of true forgiveness. And, it's funny, I was in the church for a long time and I thought I was forgiving, but I wasn't. I was still holding on to that victimized mentality that, oh, this happened to me and that happened to me. And then you keep on playing the same story out. And so, you know, cutting cords, cutting soul contracts, though, that, you know, I learned and I grew and I have transmuted that energy and involvement. And I'm moving forward on my spiritual journey and my spiritual path. And when others are not learning and growing and evolving, there comes a point that you had to cut the soul ties. You gotta, cut the contracts up, With Ronald, that's what happened. Was that he wasn't healing, he wasn't doing his inner work, he wasn't growing and evolving. He's looking outside of himself at religion still. He's, has a problem with lust and a curse of a Jezebel curse on him, right? So, he's looking at all these women, he's just avoiding facing himself. And as I was looking within myself, healing, and like I'm not the victim, and got to the bottom of the things that I am here to overcome and work on, that's when, things split between us, truly. It was energetic, it was vibrational because I was rising up my vibration and he was still stuck down here. So contracts split, See, if he was doing the work, he could have stayed with me and gone along on this journey with me. And the thing is that with my family, it was the same kind of thing, they're not willing to open their mind up, and the thing is to face your soul. It is painful to face that everything you believed in and thought was true is a bunch of BS, you know? And so I, have had to come to that point of cutting those contracts and the cords, that I had to be done with them for my evolvement, for me to go to the next level. Because the thing is that when people are hanging on to their victimized mentality, right? And you're now like, hey, I'm not a victim. I chose my journey. And they're not open minded to new ideas or anything. It's just energetic, it's just an energetic thing that splits you. And I totally understand that some people didn't come here to evolve. Some people came here just to, be here at this time to play those parts for us, right? And so I'm the one who has to, forgive and heal and let it go, right? I can't hang on to it and keep going. Let it go that, they played their part for me. I had to let them go. And they, did what they had to do for me to say, okay, I'm done with this. I'm not going to play your victimized game anymore. Because what happens is, they're not controlling their mind or their thoughts. So now they project this negative shit on you. And then you're in some little thing because they made these projections on you. So, it comes a time when we have to say enough is enough. I choose myself. I'm going to work on me. I'm going to, get power and control back over my life, my reality. I'm going to let go of all this bullshit, you know, and anyone who's not going to grow and evolve with me, I'm going to let them go. See, what's the difference between Ronald and his girl talking shit about me and how crazy I was because of the shit that I saw, or my family talking shit about me as well? That I was going to be in the mental hospital for months, you know? So, I had to go through that fall. I had to hit that fall so that I could rise up. I had to go through losing all that I lost so that I could rise up. And on a soul level, I chose that journey. And it wasn't an easy journey, and some would never survive it, you know, but I survived it and I come out thriving from it. And so, because I am that powerful. And so, I went through, and what you can do for cutting soul ties, is what I did was symbolically, I got some string and I started cutting strings, cutting those soul ties, those soul bonds. Ronald, my family, because as we evolve and others are not evolving with us, we have to let them go. And the point is that when they're not evolving, they just can't go with us. It's spiritual, it's energetic, and I've changed my vibration. When you start talking about peace and unity, people are like, "What are you talking about?" The whole world's against me. Everyone's against me. I'm sleeping next to my enemy. They won't do certain shit. And I'm pissed off at them, and on and on. And so, those people just can't go with you on this journey. And so, but they are a soul. They're just on their own journey and own experiences, and you know I'm just not on their timeline, and my timeline is for me. And so I had to come to say it, being like, I'm not holding back anymore. And so leaving Washington State was a big fat move to break free from some bondages, for sure. Being trapped in that victimized mentality, and the past and stuff, and they were holding me to it. And so I have no regrets over leaving Washington State. And, if I didn't go through what I went through, I wouldn't have the insights and wisdom and knowledge that I have truly gained, coming to know that I have to break generational curses, right? That nobody's going to do it. And I truly, during this journey and this path, I, at one point, which was right around 2 years ago, that there was something I seen that said sometimes some people come here to do a lot. And I ended up saying to myself, I think I am that person, And I so told myself, if you thought you could come here and do this, then do it and get it done. And so that's about ascension, That's truly about ascension, is doing it. That, you know, you can play going to church and sitting there and thinking that Jesus Christ is going to save you, you know, while you're jerking off with women online and lying, being greedy, trying to manipulate and on and on. Oh, but you're all good, Okay, you could be good because I'm better than that. I can guarantee you. And so inner work, inner work. And when you do it, when you're going to do it, when you're going to choose it for your own soul, comes a point where you're going to have to cut cords. You're going to have to end soul contracts and bonds. And as you go forward, you will gain those people. You will gain new, your tribe, really, right? There's some talk about the tribes, right? But it's just, your people, your energetic people, because you'll come to coming in contact with like-minded people and be like, oh, all right, you're a generational curse breaker too. All right, we're doing this. And so, and they're totally on that level with you. And so, but those ones that are limited minded down here, you can't talk to them. You just can't. They're just, they're stuck. They're limited beliefs, right? And, we have chosen to be unlimited. We've chosen, because we are unlimited, and we've chosen to expand our consciousness. We've chosen to heal. Let's get past all the karma and holding people to things, and just be like, hey, what am I learning from this? What is it that I need to work on? Hey, I went through a test recently, in fact, about, self-abandonment, right? That, I'm not going to go down a road to try to help somebody to heal and level up, that they got to be there already. I'm not going to abandon myself for, such a person, right? But I'm here to learn and grow and evolve and expand. And when people are not on that journey, we got to let them go. They can't go with us. And so we're going to go ahead and take a look at a couple of videos.
You're not just sleeping with someone, you could actually be downloading their trauma. You're not just heartbroken, you might still be entangled. You see, every time you have sex, your energy field braids, and it stays with you for up to 7 years if the cord is not consciously cleared. Your light body forms a cord of living memory between your template and theirs. And if they carried unresolved pain, addiction, karma, density, it's now in your energy field or light body. And that's why even years later, you might suddenly feel anxiety, shame, or longing that isn't even yours. Your body remembers and keeps the score, what your mind tried to bury. So sex is a soul contract until you revoke it consciously. Your womb, your root, and your nervous system holds memory like a sponge. The body can't fully regenerate if it's still processing old energetic cords. And that's why cutting cords is not just spiritual woo-woo, it's bioenergetic hygiene and science. You don't need to carry old lovers in your energy field. You can clear them by cutting the energetic cords. Here's how to cut the cord. Number 1, face the memory with clarity. Number 2, speak their name. Number 3, say it out loud. I now release all energetic, emotional, and sexual cords between us. I revoke any soul contracts no longer in alignment. I reclaim my body, my field, and my light. Number 4, breathe deep. See, visualize, and feel the energetic cord dissolve into the eternal flame. You see, you're not broken. You've just been carrying someone else's energetic imprint, and it's time to reclaim your energetic sovereignty, God, sovereign, and free. And that is our birthright. You're not.
Well, I thought that was some very, very good information, that we end up, when we have these sexual encounters, downloading and entanglements with this energies, of karma and trauma and addictions and things for 7 years. And it truly ends up, making a lot of sense when you just kind of look at it. And I, definitely had my times when I was younger. And so, that is just, we have to come to realize that we are in this energetic game, and that when you have these encounters, that you are mingling, these energies. And even like, I've had to come aware, like we have an energetic field around us, right? And when we walk by each other, there's an energy exchange, and I had to learn about my own energy, because I am here to help clean the energy, and I've had to learn how to do such a thing. So I have to clean my energy all the time. But since I am here to do that, my energy, it takes it, I'm like an octopus taking the energy so I can cleanse it. And then, I have to, be aware of my energy as well, of, making sure I am cleansing it often and things like that. And so, it's really helped me to, just become aware of it. And that's the thing, is that when we're unaware, I was for years, bogged down with all this, dense energy and all these things. So, when you have sexual encounters with people, there is a, soul contract that happens with that, with these energies. But we can, go through processes to, cut those cords, and energetically, it's an energy thing. We got to energetically do it, in fact. And, we are here to, let go of carrying other people's stuff. And, 7 years, I can do 7 years, clear out my energy and work on myself and my life. Yeah. And so I'm all good with that. So I've gone through enough. So, I recommend it, do 7 years and work on you, and, get past surviving and get to thriving. And so we all have the power to do it. We have a God-given right. We're not here to just survive. We are here to thrive. And we have to change our energy, change our mindsets, truly renew our minds. And so letting go of those, energetic soul contracts and ties that we have had. And so we have to do it. Nobody will do it for us. So we're going to go ahead and look at another video.
We all have soul contracts. We have soul contracts, we have oversoul contracts, we have avatar contracts, we have rishi contracts, and we have ascended master contracts. Everybody has them. And some of them are good, where they're Christos. Others are ones we got ourselves into during this messy history that we've had, just to keep ourselves alive on planet, to help keep the gene code alive. And they're the ones that we're at the point where everybody has a choice. If we have contracts that are encoded in their DNA as well, that were with some of the fallen angelic matrices, that were made under times of duress, when it was either, make them, or literally a whole collective is going to go down with you. Many of the guardians had, both the Iani groups, the indigos, and the humans made these kind of deals. At this point, this is the time when the information's being brought back. We're being offered a free will choice. We can choose which path we want to be on, and if we have any soul contracts from the other sides, we relinquish them. We literally say, I stand against this now. I do not want to fill this contract, and I will no longer. And you do it with the Song of Lyra. All right? Now, the Song of Lyra just activates that frequency. But when you put an intention behind that, like I no longer want this soul contract or any implants or anything in my DNA that has to do with it, if it's a negative one, and you make that command, you command that intention, and then run your song of lyra, your D12 frequency, get yourself with a burst of your D12 in the body, it will start to literally break the connections to whatever matrix has a connection to you. Any moment, once you become aware of one, renegotiate it. If you're working a Christos template, you know, it's not like you're signed, sealed, delivered, you've got to do that even if you don't want to anymore. It works the other way with the Anunnaki and Draconian spiritual teachings. If you've got a contract, they're going to hold you to it whether you want to be in it or not. And you were probably tricked into it in the first place. You know? So soul contract stuff, that's very real. And we all have it. But the thing is, our soul contracts are stored right in our DNA. All right, they're literally in our templates, they're in our Cathara grids. So as we begin to activate our own systems, run more Maharata frequency, we'll progressively be bringing that knowledge more and more to our awareness. We'll start to get memory with it in pieces, and it comes in pieces at first. It doesn't always come in movies. It takes a while to sequence those codes to get the linear format. But you will open your own soul contracts. You don't need somebody to give them to you. But what can help is have somebody transmit frequency that knows exactly which parts of your template are holding the information that you most need to know right now, and they can help you by transmitting that. The Iani will do that. They've done that with me since I was small.
Well, I thought that was some very, very enlightening information, that, these soul contracts are encoded in our DNA, that it's stored within us, and that's, truly a part of doing that inner work is, activating that stuff and the memories and becoming aware of it. And if we don't do that inner work, that we won't become aware of it. And so, you got to go to the next level and just continue on, and that stuff will come out more to light, right? I mean, it became aware I had a soul contract with Ronald, right? And you know what? I ended that. It's ended, and that, we have the free will to no longer accept those soul contracts, to no longer go down those paths, right? See, I could have ended up stuck in a path with Ronald. I truly could have. But you know what? Soul contracts were up. I was evolving too much. I was healing. I was doing my inner work, and those soul contracts have expired. So, no longer on that. So anyhow, we have the free will. We have the free will to do our inner work and to truly come to be aware of what we're involved in so that we can take our power back. Because it is about taking our power back over ourselves, that we have all these different contracts of, ascended master contract as well, So we have it within us to evolve, to raise our consciousness, our frequency, and to become aware of these things. And it is all spiritual, and it's really part of unity is integrating that spiritual and the physical. So, if you're aware of it, it's going to play out, in your reality. So anyhow, we're going to take a look at another video.
Your soul is finally ready to shed a past life wound, memory, energy that has been following you. It's been cyclical. This is something you've carried into many, many lifetimes. You are in the middle of that shedding, which is the resistance.
Well, for some reason, that whole video won't play for me, but, gave me enough there, of, going through like shedding, you gotta shed, energetically and, let go, releasing the soul bonds that, I've had. And, it's very interesting when you come in that, you have had many lives, and that, energetically there's been some sort of energy and soul bond that has been going with me through many lifetimes. And so, just as I have, evolved and, gone up to a higher state of consciousness, a higher timeline, you got to break those, it's just going to happen. And so, let them go, no longer having their, lessons that, I learned the lesson. I learned the lesson of, being, stuck in religion, right? You know, that's not a lesson for me to learn anymore. And so I gotta let that go, What about government, I've learned that lesson too. So they ain't gonna save me. I'm a divine being. I have to get that power over, my own reality. I'm a sovereign spiritual being, that being present, being in the moment, all that stuff helps. We're going to go ahead and take a look at a couple of pictures. Cord cutting mantra. I release you with a full heart, with love for the place you once held in my life. May you be happy in the life you have chosen. I now take back all the energy that has been taken from me or that I have given away, and I return the energy that I still hold from you. May I be free from the ties that bind us. May all cords be cut, transmuted, and dissolved. May all energy return to its original sender with power, peace, and forgiveness. I ask that this is complete and sealed now. So it is. Cord cutting. Say out loud, I, Alisha, release my mother from my life. May they no longer have access to me in any realm, in any form. I am removed from them physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and energetically. I forgive them and myself for any harm done, as that is the past, and so are they. I am free from this attachment. I am free from any toxicity. I am free. May seem harsh, but it has to be done. It has to be done. It's all spiritual. It's truly spiritual energy, energetically. And that's truly spiritual, is all energy, all frequency, vibrational kind of thing. So we're going to go ahead and ask a few questions. What does it mean to cut cords? To end a relationship or connection, especially one in which one person, organization, etc., depends on another. How to cut cords spiritually. Grounding oneself, visualizing the energetic cord, mentally or physically cutting the cord, and cleansing one's energy field afterwards. Do relationships improve after cord cutting? Cord cutting can help to break that old way of interacting with each other, of being seen as the child and parent, and allow the relationship to evolve. What happens to the other person after cord cutting? The other person may feel a shift. So my conclusion is we break the soul contracts, that my mother was just playing my mother, but truly we are just a soul, each have our own souls, part of the divine spirit, part of the spirit, having our own experiences. And, the relationship, wasn't in a position to change. And so we had to go our separate paths. And that's the truth of the matter. And I hold nothing against her. I know that I had a mother wound and stuff, and she has her own stuff. She's just unhealed. She's not interested in, changing anything. She's not interested in evolving and stuff. So, she still wants to be the victim and things. And so she can live that out. That's not the path for me. So, the same thing with Ronald, right? He's playing the victim. He's on that other path, and it's not for me. And so I hold nothing against them. I learned my lessons. They helped me learn, they helped me to, evolve myself to where, hey, I'm done playing the victim game, because you get victimized when you play the victim game. So, you know, we have to, in those contracts, cord cutting, releasing, spirits that, these bonds, these soul bonds that we've had even through many lifetimes. It's up for us to do it, and nobody will do it for us. And so we might be in something, stuck in something, and that's the thing, that like with my mother, right? She has this victimized mentality, right? And so now, energetically, I'm put in this victimized mentality with her. And so, it's about learning the lesson that, I'm not a victim to it. And so it's all about energy. And, when you end up in those things as well, and you think of the thoughts and negative projections and, fear, right? Now, you had something happen to you, and now it's like, oh, I'm afraid of this happening to my kid, and that's how you continue cycles on, even, is because you project your fears of what's happened to you because you're unhealed onto your children. And, and even religion does that, right? That religion gets you in this, oh, we're sinners and we got to have this outside person to save us. We got to do all this stuff. And I mean, they keep you trapped in that stuff. I mean, people, grow up in it and they leave home and, they're on the phone calling them. Oh, did you go to church today? I mean, they like to keep you stuck in those bondages for sure. And, it comes a point when you evolve, you have to cut those soul contracts. And, if you learn your lesson, hey, religion isn't going to save me. That's the lesson that you learn, and you split that, contract. And if your parents aren't learning the lesson that, religion isn't going to save them, that's on them, that's on them to stay trapped in that. And, some people, it's very interesting in the church. Some will, disown their kids, and I thought that was a bad thing, but then, I came to a point that, they actually do them a favor. They truly do by, not having anything to do with them. They do, it's just energy. It's just, those ties. And the Amish people is very interesting, because if you leave their group, you cannot come back. Like, that's a soul severing, tie right there. And I do take the Amish as being a little bit of, controlling for sure. I don't know a lot about them, but it is definitely like this controlled kind of, group, right? But so, the people who walk away from it, they gain that courage to do such a thing. And it just is like, hey, I've learned a lesson that this path isn't for me, and I'm going to go down a different path. And, I've gone down different paths to learn the lessons, and I've learned and I've evolved to where, making my own path, my own way, and that's just where I'm at. And just, learn and grow and evolve and, set my own boundaries for me, doing my inner work. If I have issues with food, I have to set some boundaries in with food, right? I have to learn those lessons. And so, anyhow, we are in a time of change. We are in a time of awakening and evolving. And the ones who are not awakening and evolving, just can't go with us. And we have to let them go. We have to come to that point to let go of the bondage, let go of letting go of, letting them go, letting the contract go, the cords that, I'm not going to be stuck in this stuff anymore. Letting go of the story. That's part of it. The same story that, we keep on playing over and over. And so when you break away from it and like, no, I'm not the victim of it. I chose my journey. We're creating a new script, a new path that, we are the divine being having a human experience and, coming up to that point that I'm experiencing this. I created this. Our thoughts are very powerful. I'm, taking power over my thoughts, I'm taking, my power back from people who want to be stuck in things. Oh, you can't say this and oh, don't embarrass us. That's not for me to deal with. That's for you to deal with. If you're embarrassed by what I'm saying or doing, that's on you. And, those are things that people get us trapped into. And so I release it, I let it go. And I have to deal with my own stuff, right? That, hey, this is just where we're at, I'm not going to be embarrassed over it. I'm not going to be in guilt and shame and regret over it, I had to go through and learn some valuable lessons. And it's time to let the old go, the old stories, the old BS go. And, we could go through of, oh, this person should have done this and that. And, hey, you know what? They're just their own soul on their own journey. And if they're not learning their lessons, that's on them. And so I break it. I break the contracts. I break the entanglements. And I am no longer involved with those contracts. And so I've, gone up to a level that people just couldn't even comprehend that the level of, no enemies, no enemies. Satan doesn't even exist. And it's a little trippy when you get up to that level of consciousness for sure. So the thing is, we're here to elevate. And when people are not elevating and people aren't awakening, spiritually awakening, shedding old belief systems and patterns, and we're doing it and we're ascending, we're evolving, we're upgrading, we're being enlightened, we're tapping into our, divinity and, transcending and transforming, when we're doing those things and other people are not doing those things, we have to let them go. We have to, cut those ties. No longer, I'm not going on this journey and this path with you any longer. I'm not going to go into another life and be trapped by your lessons, by your belief patterns, your cycles. And so we have to do it. It's an individual thing. And so we're here to do that. We're here to ascend. We're here to create a new way, a new pattern, a new belief system, and it's all from within us, a new story, a new story. But they can live out those old stories. It's all a state of consciousness, of reality, and they can live it out. It's their dream life, their fantasy, and, they should enjoy the script they're living. And if they don't, they have the power to flip the script. I flipped it for me and my journey. We are here for a new beginning. We are here for this ascension. We're on that timeline, and we have the power to be on that timeline. You either choose to be on that timeline or you choose to be on the negative timeline. Other timelines, there's different channels for those timelines. And, some are in religion and some are, doing government stuff and, just, trying to wing it, just negative, worry and stressing and victimized mentalities and guilt and shame and fear. And that's really those timelines, right? And there's many of them, even the conspiracy theories, really, right? Thinking that things are against you, really. And so, the thing is that it's just all Babylon, and we're here to come out of that, coming out of Babylon and going into a new world, a new earth, the 5D, ascending, and it's all spiritual, making that connection of the physical and the spiritual unity, that, hey, you know what? We are just a divine being having an experience. We are just playing a role here. And so, we're here to create a new world, a new dream, truly, because it's just reality. And what you end up doing is having, connections, and then you're in a whole new world. And so we let those ones that are not ready to go, aren't ready to wake up, we let them go. And we, love them to let them go. We don't let them go to hurt them. We let them go for ourselves, for our own evolvement. And, love them where they're at and forgive them because they truly don't know any better. And so we have to do that. And so, what is it that you're willing to give up? What is it that you're willing to give up to learn your lesson from, to go down that path of ascension, to go to the 5D, to go to the new world, letting go of the divisions, peace, unity. And that's the path that I'm on. And anyone who wants to go on that path has the free will to go on that path, and you can't fake it to make it there. And so, I'm grateful for being on this journey. I'm grateful for having that inner strength and wisdom and knowledge to, let go, let the things go, let the past go even. And so I'm grateful for anyone who is listening, growing, healing, evolving, and going to that next level for them. And so if you want help with healing, with, taking your power back and, dealing with some of the things that you have to deal with, I'm here to do such a thing. And so my links and my email are in the bio. Enjoy life, enjoy your day, enjoy the journey, and just take one day at a time. Sometimes we're like, oh, I want to be way over there. But, going through that journey and what you gain on that journey is, priceless. That's, we got to go down that journey. So we got to enjoy the journey to get us to where we want to be at, and let it go, just let it go and see what happens. And so I'm going to play this song, Where We Rise, because that's what we're here to do. This is where we rise, and we are rising. And the ones that aren't, we have to let them go. They may or may not know any better anyways. So, where we rise. Love you.
Most people don't realize this, but we're not all living in the same reality. We're all walking this earth, but we're living in different dimensions. When you're in the lower dimensions, you believe in a God outside of you. You say things like, "Thank you, Jesus," and "Thank you, God," up there. And that's okay, because that's the level you're at. It's part of the journey. But when you go through a Kundalini awakening, when your spirit truly begins to rise, something shifts. You don't just believe in Christ, you become aware of the Christ within you. You stop thanking something outside of you, and you begin to awaken to the power that was always inside you. Christ consciousness isn't about religion. It's a frequency, a higher awareness. It's when you realize God lives in you. You see, people argue because they live in different dimensions, and they don't understand each other. Some still live in the 3D where everything is fear, control, separation. You're over here trying to speak light, truth, oneness, and they look at you like you're crazy. That's because you're not speaking the same language of consciousness. When you awaken, you rise. You begin to see the world through God's eyes, not man's. And that's why we say not everyone will get you. Not everyone is supposed to, because not everyone has risen yet. But your job is not to prove it, your job is to live it. Let your vibration speak louder than your voice. Thank you for following us at Awakening the Empaths, where truth is spoken without fear.
I know the path we've rode, searching for fame and gold, watching the truth erode. Can we hold the line? Can we hold the line? I heard the stories told. The legends are ages old, but now the blood runs cold. Can we hold the line? Can we hold the line? Yeah, this is where we ride. This is where we ride. Facing the destiny, standing on shaking knees, but we won't go quietly. Can we hold the line? Can we hold the line? Yeah, this is where we ride. This is where we ride.
You ain't got a chance. Trying to go to war with the champ. Trying to go back, but you can't. Now it's only one king, I'm the man. Anybody wanna step to the plate? Better go and get one thing straight. I don't freeze and I won't hesitate. Matter of fact, y'all been running in place, can't run from your fate. Who's gonna stop me? 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 Yeah, who's gonna stop me? Who's gonna stop me? So electrical, charged up, shocking every second like a billion volts. Now we hyperactive, you don't want no static. I was born for battle, finger on the pulse. Y'all paper plastic while I go Jurassic. So far from average, running with the raptors like a slay Goliath, steady moving silence. So in other words, I am the boss. Who's gonna stop me? Who's gonna stop me? Who's gonna stop me? Who's gonna stop me? I am the boss. Who's gonna stop me? Who's gonna stop me? Yeah, who's gonna stop me? Who's gonna stop me? I just look at the world, such a sight to behold. Most of the stories will never get told. Been on my own for so long, I don't know what else to do, pray I don't lose my soul. Walking through fire till I'm numb to the coast. Coming for everything, diamonds and gold. Nothing to lose, all in my control. And I'm about to go savage, so don't say I won't. And I'm destined for greatness. Ain't no fabrication, ain't no time for waiting. Super fundamental, I can see them hating. Ain't a scrimmage, steady winning. I ain't quitting from the start to finish. Been in motion, this is physics. Never slowing, never getting winded. I ain't quitting from the start to finish. And I got a one to really find slipping in. Who's gonna stop me? 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 Who's gonna stop me?